Hello everyone. This is section B question. Let's start with section B question, and these questions are from Kaplan Kaplan exam kit. The very first question is question number 230. So I'll be solving few questions and uploading on YouTube. Hope that these questions or solutions might help people. So Midhurst company manufactures air conditioning units, and is considering an investment in a new unit that will be used in modern office buildings. Advances in technology means that this unit is more sensitive to changes in variation in temperature, and therefore it can regulate airflow and heating more efficiently. Midhurst company's competitors currently do not have an equivalent product that can offer these features. Midhurst company expects to sell 10,000 units over the predicted 5 years life cycle of the unit. The finance director has just prepared the initial costing for the unit as follows. Research and development costs 6,200. Design cost sorry so the let me just increase the size. So the design cost is 33,500. Market cost is 1,77,685. All kind of costs have been given. Variable cost is 42 per unit. Okay, and all these costs you can read it out. The finance director plans to use life cycle costing to measure the profitability of new product, and the chief executive has asked for more information about the life cycle costing, as they are not sure whether it is the right method to use. The production director has reviewed the costing in detail and suggested a couple of charges. They are enthusiastic about the product and believes that the modifications could be made to prolong the product's life, but wonders when the best time would be to make changes to the product. Question 1 of this question of this case study, Midhurst company, which came in September and December 2020. The very first question of this is, according to the life cycle costing method, which two of the following statements regarding the stages of the life cycle costing are true? At this introduction stage, further capital expenditure will be needed as production capacity will need to increase to meet the demand. So it is asking, according to life cycle costing method, which two of the following statements regarding the statement of the life cycle costing are true? So at the introduction stage, further capital expenditure will be needed as production capacity will need to increase to meet the demand. At introduction stage, further capital expenditure will be needed as production capacity will need to increase to meet the demand. Do you know? Let's read further. At maturity stage occurs when the market has reached saturation point and bought enough of the products. Maturity stage is a stage where the demand has actually reached at the highest level, and then saturation at the highest level, and saturation point means the demand would start declining. After maturity, the demand would start declining at a certain point of time. The demand would start declining, and that stage where the demand has started declining is called the saturation point. So the maturity occurs when the market has reached saturation point and bought enough of the products. No, this is not the correct option. So B is definitely not the correct option. The majority of the product life cycles costs are determined by the decisions which are made at the design and development. Yes, the majority of the product life cycle costs are determined by the decisions which are made at the design and development cost. The growth stage Now, option D, the growth stage, when sales have reached their peak and become stable and will be the most profitable. No, the most profitable stage is at the maturity stage, not at the growth stage. The growth is in still the growth stage. So I think option A and C could be the correct one. So for question number one, I think and C, A and C are the correct one. So this seem to be incorrect. B and even D also seems to be incorrect, as I have explained you now. Let's read it further. The second question is, what is the cost per unit for new air conditioning unit using life cycle costing? Okay, now over here we are supposed to calculate the cost per unit of new air conditioning using life cycle costing. Cost of new air condition. So Midhurst expected to sell cost per unit of the new air conditioning unit using life cycle costing. Okay, so we'll have to calculate the life cycle cost. Let's calculate it over here. As I had read the question, the research and development cost. The research and development cost is how much? It is 6,200, and the figures needs to be in thousands. So per unit cost will be 6,200 into 10,000. So this would be the cost, a research and development cost for the unit is as follows. So we have to calculate the per unit cost. Now, research and development cost, is the research and development cost supposed to be per unit cost? So the research and development cost is not per unit. It will have to be the rate at which the cost is given. I do not know what is happening, just excuse me. Let me write it all over again. The research and development cost is 6,200. After that we have design cost. So design cost is 33,000. We have the design cost, which is 33,400. So this will also come. Now if the design cost is 33,400, will this be per unit, or this is the cost which will be taken as a whole? I think designing cost, research and development cost are the initial cost, and these are taken as a whole only. These are not cost per unit. Okay, so design cost will be taken as it is 33,450. Marketing expenses 1,77,685. These are not variable. Okay, in the question all the variable expenses will be given specific. They will be specified that the costs are variable, and you will have to calculate them per unit wise. But if it is nothing mentioned, then you will take the entire cost. Next is variable cost per unit. The variable cost per unit not per unit, actually the variable cost. So the variable cost per unit was 42 into 10,000, And also, not to mention, this was not 42, this was 42,000 into 10,000, because the figures given in the question were in thousands. So 42,000 into 10,000 divided by 1,000, it will give me 4,20,000, because I'm writing all these figures in thousands. Okay, so whatever the answer will be, I will have to divide it by 1,000 because I'm writing the answer in thousands. So it is 4,20,000. And after that, I will take fixed production cost, which is 98,470. Then again, I have this variable cost, variable production cost. Now this is 9,000 into 10,000, and I will get this 9,000 into 10,000. So this will be 90,000. And now I have fixed selling cost. Fixed selling cost is 7790. I will take it as it is because this is something fixed, it is not variable. After that, okay, I think missed something. Before fixed selling cost, they had given variable selling cost per unit also. So I'll write variable selling cost, which is 4,000 into 10,000. So 4,000 into 10,000, this is 40,000. Okay, so variable selling cost is 40,000. Fixed selling cost I have already included, and then I have administration cost. How much is the administration cost? The administration cost is 23,450. Now I will add all this cost. 6,200, 33,450, 177,685, that's 4,20,000, that's 98,470, plus 90,790, plus 40,000, plus 23,450. So I get this. Something is missing, I did not include, because 6,200, 33, 6,233, yes, I had included this also. Did I include this? Fixed production cost. Yes, I had already included this. Fixed distribution cost. Yes, I had not included fixed distribution cost. So the fixed distribution cost over here is 10,300. This is fixed, so we will take the amount as it is. And I get my answer as 907,345. Now how did I make it out that my answer is incorrect? Because I could see that my per unit cost will not match from any of the four options, and this is how I figured out that I'm doing some calculation mistake. So this is my cost. Now if I need to convert it into thousands, then it will be 97345, and I'll have zeros. So per unit cost will be divided by 10,000, and it would give me 90734.5. Yep. So this is my, I think the answer over here should be D. Okay. Now let's come to part 3. The production director has suggested the following changes. the production director has suggested the following changes for the costing of new units. Currently, material cost are 20% of the variable production cost per unit. One of the material used is stainless steel, which is budgeted 2000 per unit, but an alternative corrosion resistant material costing 25 less can be used. The production director believes a 15% discount can be negotiated for a remainder of the material. What would be the revised material cost per unit? Okay, so I'll read out this again. The material cost are 20%. The material cost are 20% of the variable cost production. So what was my material cost? Material cost was 4,20,000. So for this I'll do some calculation again. The material cost has been said that it is 20% of the variable production cost. So the variable production cost was 4,20,000 and 20% of it will be 20% of 4,20,000. How much will it be? 84,000. Out of which it said that one of the material used is stainless steel, which is budgeted at 2000 per unit, but an alternative corrosion resistant metal costing 25% less can be used. So the currently material cost is 84,000. Okay, out of this 84,000, out of this 84,000, there is a material called stainless steel which is being used, and the cost of this stainless steel is 2000 per unit. So if the stainless steel is 2000 per unit, there are 10,000 units. So I will stainless steel material is 20,000. I will have to reduce this. Why am I reducing this? I'll explain. It is saying that one of the material used in is stainless steel. So out of the entire material cost, there is a cost of stainless steel being used. Now this stainless steel, there is another option that instead of this stainless steel which is costing us for $2,000, there is there is another material which can be used in place of stainless steel, and that material is 25% less than the cost of the stainless steel. So I will calculate the cost of that material separately, and the remaining cost, the production director believes that 15% discount can be negotiated for the remainder material. So what is the remainder material? The remainder material is 64. So after discount, cost of remaining material would be 64,000 minus 15% of 64,000, that is 54,400. Also there is a different kind of material which can be used in place of stainless steel, and that is 25% less. So alternative material cost of stainless steel is 20,000 minus 25% of 20,000. So this is 15,000. Therefore, total material cost would be 54,400 plus 15,000, that is 69,400. So your correct answer should be 69,400. Am I right or wrong? No, I've done some mistake over here. Okay. So this 4,20,000 was actually converted into thousands. So the entire cost is actually 69,000. If I need to convert it into thousand, then it is 69,400, but the actual figure is 69,400. So you need to be really mindful of all these things, and I would divide this by 10,000, and then I will get to know what is the cost per unit, which is 6940. So you will have to be very careful about this. This could have been a careless mistake in the exams. So I'll just try scribble this down. And now another thing is, the production director has also asked about the implications of the production director has also asked about the implication for production planning if the company wishes to extend the product's life cycle. So at what stage of the life cycle is new unit most likely to undergo the product development? Now I can say it is the maturity stage, because when it is mature, it will obviously the demand would start declining after maturity. So I think it is the maturity stage post which the demand would start declining, and then there would be a need to develop a new unit or a new variant. The chief executive wants to brief on the advantages of using life cycle costing. Which of the following statements relating to the advantages of life cycle costing are correct? It draws management's attention to all costs related to a product which other costing methods usually treat as period cost. It draws management's attention to all variable related. It draws attention to all variable. It draws attention to all. It draws management's attention to all costs related to a product which other costing methods usually treat as period cost. Okay. It focuses on measuring a product's cost from concept to withdrawal, rather than reviewing cost on a period by period basis. Yes, so it focuses on measuring a product's cost from concept to withdrawal, because at every stage it has to assess whether the product will be profitable or not. The cost being incurred on it is going to give us profits in future or not, whether we should withdraw this, is it going, what are the benefits it is going to generate. So at every stage this needs to be calculated with an objective, if it needs to with an objective to assess whether it needs to withdraw from the production or not. So it focuses on what consumers are prepared to pay for a product and establishes cost budgets based on expected selling price. It focuses on what consumers are prepared to pay for a product and establishes cost. No, this happens only in case of, I think, target costing, not in case of life cycle costing. Let's see. And then it is saying it aids in understanding the relationship between the decisions at the stage and the cost of other functions such as marketing. Let me read it again. It aids in understanding the relationship between the decisions at this decision stage and the cost of other functions. Yes, so relationship between the decisions at the design stage. Yes, because it needs to consider what kind of cost will be incurred at every stage of the product, of every stage of the life cycle of the product. It needs to assess that cost, and it also needs to assess whether it will be feasible for the project to develop that product or not. Will it be feasible to continue with it or not? So as mentioned earlier, that every stage we need to uh, calculate the cost and benefit, as if with a primary objective to assess whether there is any requirement to withdraw this project for developing this product or not. So as per me, the options are first, 2 and 4, and so this is the right answer, B.